Hello and welcome to this video under the banner of the Elite Mentor Links. I am Neil, I'm 47 from not far outside of Greater Manchester, and I started this channel recently with a view to sharing my archive, my portfolio of some of the best content out there online, YouTube and TED mainly, around the top thinkers and communicators of the day on all matters well-being, health, psychology. Okay, so today, please forgive me for this, but I am going to go off track somewhat. Maybe I'll do this every couple of months. Today, I've chosen to just talk for a few minutes about Black Lives Matters. I'm not a big news junkie, but this is something that clearly has really risen on in terms of exposure in recent weeks, and I don't know, there's always an opportunity in these situations. Maybe there's an opportunity here if we're able to communicate and talk about this intelligently. The main point I want to make about Black Lives Matter is that, yes, of course they do. And yes, unquestionably, blacks across the world, especially in the US of A, have been horrifically treated for centuries, going back surely more than I can imagine. The brutality and the injustice that they have suffered on mass scale is, forever a stain on humanity. None of this can be denied. However, my fear, and this is what I want to talk about today, maybe encourage some feedback, is that I feel it's completely unhelpful to single out these isms, racism, ageism, sexism, whatever your prejudice is, whether you're prejudiced against disabled people, mentally ill people, it doesn't matter. This word prejudice, which is the word that I remember as a child at 8 or 9, was really impressed upon us at school. For me, is the crux of everything. And once you go off topic and you single out a particularism because it's flavour of the month, I don't think you help the situation. You don't advance the minds of the current or future generations, or the likelihood of them actually having more educated or open minds. So my point really is, shouldn't we just talk about prejudice? Wouldn't we better, instead of flitting from one ism to another, just really zoning in on this word prejudice and fighting it on every level, because it serves nobody, that's for sure. And certainly if we focus on the word prejudice only, then it's very difficult for the media or anybody to really blur the lines of the origin of the problem, because always the origin is prejudice, usually unfounded, almost always unfounded. But if we don't talk about the origin, how are we ever going to rehabilitate minds? How are we ever going to re-educate people who've got the wrong ideas or have got unhelpful, violent, destructive ideas? I don't think we are. This is really the point I want to make, whilst clearly not trivializing the merit in some of the current, uprising. Okay, that's my thoughts on prejudice to some extent. Please give me some feedback on that. I'd love to get some other opinions and some comments. I guess what concerns me here more than anything is being somebody who has become in recent years all about self-expression. I mean, I've taken this to quite an extreme place, certainly in relation to who I had been in the first 40, 41, 42 years of my life. The people who know me will have seen this vividly. I think some of the people who've known me all my life probably barely recognize me at times, with the simple sort of open and transparent way that I'm prepared to talk on virtually anything. In fact, it's not virtually anything, it is anything, and I have done that in these last years around some very, very personal and profound issues. My real incentive, what drives me more than anything here, is I just feel that, we don't need to be subduing conversation on any level. We don't need to be putting people's minds in restrictive, limited places, or keeping people's minds in restricted or limited places. denying them the possibility to open up more and to get to better thinking habits, thinking qualities, which we can all access. We've all got it within us to do that, no matter who we are or where we might be at this moment. I'm really a great believer that the best hope for mankind moving forward, if there is anything we can describe as the best hope in these crazy days, is really an absolute a revolution of communication and thinking skills. We're going to get to that, or we're going to continue to suffer, unnecessarily or in an exaggerated form. Last thing on this subject, really, that I probably would like to say is only reflecting on some recent trends in media, etc., and probably reacting to a story that even I've become aware of in the last week, although I watch almost zero mainstream media news now, very deliberate and conscious choice. My whole TV bundle and package is cancelled and has about a week only to run, having been cancelled 3 weeks ago. So that will be a fantastic day in my life, I hope. But yeah, this silly story about some chap who's decided to urinate on a statue that obviously, I guess, means symbolically a lot to quite a lot of people. And, this is a story that, whilst I understand the symbolism and the triggers that this story is bound to ignite in people, I really think we want to stop and think carefully about this, because in the end, we're just talking about one chap urinating on an inanimate object, and that this can, under any circumstances, make front page news. Disturbs me. We're in a moment where hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives to this new mystery virus or whatever you believe it to be, and countless millions more have suffered horrifically and continue to do so at large or in nursing homes, where, of course, people have not seen family members for best part of 4 months now. I mean, horrific, just awful for people in extreme situations, and the most vulnerable moments of their life. And really, to be making such a big deal about some silly throwaway act, I find it totally inappropriate and disproportionate. We need to drop this type of media and this type of preoccupation. Whilst we talk about commemorating anything, or commemorating Winston Churchill or war dead, or the best way to commemorate those who gave their lives in the name of anything, whether it was war or anything they were passionate about, anything they sacrificed for in the past, is to look after, the future generations of those people, the friends of those people. We should be making, the way we care for the elderly, the way we care for the sick, certainly the way we care for the sick and elderly, something that we tackle head on, and we make those who perhaps fail to do so accountable for, because that's where the potential progression lies here, not in getting hot under the collar about the actions of some individual, which is nothing more than ultimately, just very, very superficial and low-level damage, isn't it, at the end of the day? As I say, we commemorate great icons from the past, or great leaders, or the war dead, in the way we live our lives day to day, the way we treat ourselves, the way we treat each other, not in these statues. It's what goes on in the hearts and minds, surely. So that would be my last point. We're nearly at 10 minutes, so I won't go on much longer. Just, let's get away from obsessing about these gestures, whether it be this or whether it be clapping on a Thursday for the NHS that we've underfunded and debilitated and savaged over a course of certainly my lifetime. Gestures. At the end of the day, they're usually designed to distract from the important narrative and to distract from holding people accountable. So I just think, can we be more suspicious, perhaps, of gestures in the future? All things I'd love you to come back to me on these. I'd love to make this into a community, a forum. Please, if there's something I've said that's upset anybody, please, do tell me, ask me, and let's see if we can work that out to more of an understanding. Because you know, it's not my goal here to be upsetting people, only to stretch minds and invite people to explore their own minds more and explore the minds of other people more, which is what the previous videos have been about. So hopefully I'm going to be getting another video out tomorrow in that direction. As I say, this is a bit off script, but something I wanted to do. So I hope on some level you enjoyed this, although I am a little bit concerned my ears are looking extremely big today. I don't quite understand why. Of course, the ear is the one organ that continues to grow as we move through the ages, so maybe that's something I really need to think about. Okay, hope there was something in that video you enjoyed. Subscribe if you can, ring the bell, have a great day, and see you again very soon. Thank you.